And the topic is soil as a resource. Let us define what is soil. It is a mixture of organic matter, minerals, gases, liquids, organisms is known as soil. Or we can define it in other way, loose surface material containing inorganic and organic matter that covers most of land surface is known as soil. Now, what is the importance of soil? It is a medium of plant growth. Soil is a medium for plant growth. It supports flora and fauna. It supplies minerals, nutrients to plants. Soil also holds moisture. Soil provides air for gaseous exchange between roots and atmosphere. It is a house of insects and microbes lives. Now define let us sorry now let us talk about formation of soil. Now, soil is formed due to weathering of rocks. Weathering of rocks is of three types: physical or mechanical weathering, chemical weathering, and biological weathering. In physical or mechanical weathering, during daytime, due to high temperature, the rocks expand. During night, when the temperature falls, the rocks contracts. This alternate expansion and contraction of the rocks leads to weathering of rocks. Second weathering is chemical weathering, in which the water reacts with the chemicals contained in rocks, and a chemical reaction takes place, and this time the rocks decay and finally leads to weathering. Third is biological weathering, under which the roots of the rocks sorry the roots of the trees, they enters or penetrates into the cracks. When the roots grows in size, they exerts pressure, or they puts pressure on the rocks, and rocks finally breaks away. Now, these weathered particles are then taken away by wind and water or by natural forces, and finally it turns into soil. Now, let us discuss about the various factors responsible in the formation of soil. The first important factor is rock or parent rock. Soils are formed due to weathering of rocks, you know very well. And the rock determines the color, quality, and composition of soil. I am taking here the example. From sandstone, sandy soils are formed. You know, in Gujarat and Maharashtra, black soils are found, and their parent rock is igneous rock. The basalt rock forms the clay fertile soils. So in this way, the parent rock affects the composition of the soil. It determines the quality, color of the soil. Next factor is climate. Temperature and rainfall are the two important elements of climate. तापमान और वर्षा ये भी फॉर्मेशन ऑफ सॉइल को प्रभावित करते हैं. फॉर्मेशन ऑफ सॉइल टेक्स लेस टाइम इन वार्मर और हाई टेम्परेचर एरियाज. बच्चों, जहाँ पर टेम्परेचर बहुत ज़्यादा हाई रहता है वहाँ टेम्परेचर एक्सपेंड्स ड्यूरिंग डे टाइम. High rainfall areas also affects the formation of soil. Students, you know very well that rock contains chemical compounds also. When the rainfall takes place, chemical reaction also begins in the rocks in the presence of air and water, and the rocks decays or breaks away rapidly due to chemical reaction. Third one is vegetation. Vegetation also affects the formation of soil. Roots of the trees enter into cracks of rocks. Cracks को हिंदी में दरारें कहते हैं. Now roots exerts pressure on the rocks and rocks breaks away. Secondly, plants mature or die and a new one takes place. Animals eat these plants and the excreta of the animals is added to the soil and soil gets humus. In this way, in those areas where dense vegetations are found, fertile soils develops in these areas because these vegetation adds humus to soil. Secondly, in these areas, formation of soil also takes less time. Students, our next topic will be the classification of soil, and we will discuss this topic in the next session. Thanks.